Space was full of fast ships and proud aliens. The USS Liberty was neither. It was slow, old, and crewed by humans, a species most others barely respected. Captain Marcus Grant stood on the bridge, looking at the stars like they owed him something. He had served for years, seen wars come and go. He knew what people thought of him. Too careful, too quiet, too old for this. Lieutenant Karen Bell walked past him, her eyes sharp and full of fire. She hated how aliens looked at them, like they were jokes. She could fly better than half the pilots out there. But no one cared. Chief Engineer Rick Delgado worked below deck, hands covered in oil, ears full of noise. He loved that ship like it was his home. Maybe more than home. It was his pride. Even if everyone else called it junk. Dr. Ellen Cruz studied alien tech in a small lab, trying to make human weapons better. She didn't talk much. But when she did, people listened. The galaxy laughed at the Liberty. During a joint exercise with other fleets, it had fallen behind. Missed turns, fired late, looked clumsy. One alien admiral said over open comms, "This floating museum wouldn't last 5 minutes in real combat." Everyone laughed, even some humans. But then came the reports. Border colonies attacked. Ships vanished. No group claimed responsibility. Just silence and wreckage. No one wanted to go in. No one except the Liberty. Grant gave the order. Engines turned. The ship moved forward, slow as always. Behind them, alien ships stayed back, watching, waiting. Karen looked at the screen and muttered, "Let them laugh." Rick checked every system twice. Nothing would fail on his watch. Ellen kept working, trying to finish a new shield design. Grant said nothing. He only watched the dark ahead. He knew what was coming. Not because he was lucky, because he had seen it before. And this time, the galaxy would learn something. Just because the Liberty was slow didn't mean it couldn't strike hard. The Liberty moved slow through dark space. Behind it, alien ships watched from a distance. They did not follow. They did not believe it would last long. Captain Marcus Grant knew what others thought. He used it. "They see us as weak," he said, to Karen Bell. "We'll make them see the truth." Lieutenant Karen Bell sat in her fighter, hands tight on the controls. She had heard the jokes, seen the smirks. Now, she was ready to show them all what humans could do. Chief Engineer Rick Delgado checked every system again. Engines ran hot. Weapons were loaded. Shields held barely. He made sure nothing failed unless he said so. Dr. Ellen Cruz worked fast in her lab. She had finished testing a new shield system. It absorbed enemy fire and sent it back. She called it the mirror. No one laughed this time. The first attack came fast. Pirate ships jumped out of hiding. Small, fast, deadly. They fired at the Liberty, expecting it to break. It did not. Grant gave the order. The ship turned hard, not away, but into the attack. Karen led the fighters. She flew like a storm, hitting enemies before they could react. One pirate ship exploded before it even fired a second shot. Rick rerouted power to engines. For short bursts, the Liberty moved faster than it should have. It dodged, struck, vanished. Ellen activated the mirror. The next wave of fire hit the Liberty's shields and bounced back. 2 pirate ships died in seconds. The battle ended quickly. No one expected that. Alien ships watching from a distance saw everything. Their reports spread fast. The joke ship just won a real fight. Some still laughed. But now, they sounded unsure. Back on the Liberty, people moved fast. Repairs began. Weapons reloaded. No one celebrated. Not yet. Karen walked onto the bridge, sweat on her face. She looked at Grant and said, "They won't laugh next time." Grant only nodded. He already knew. Out in space, something bigger waited, and, when it came, the Liberty would be ready. Not because it was the fastest, not because it was the newest, but because it was human, and humans never stopped fighting. Word spread fast across the stars. The Liberty had won a real fight. Not by luck, not by accident, but by skill. Some aliens still laughed. Others started to worry. The pirates were only the beginning. Now, a bigger threat rose, the Varric Syndicate. They ruled space with fear and fire. No one stood against them and lived. Until now. Captain Marcus Grant read the reports with a calm face. He knew what was coming. The Liberty had made enemies, powerful ones. Lieutenant Karen Bell trained new pilots every day. She taught them how to fly like ghosts, unseen, unpredictable, deadly. She did not care if the galaxy saw humans as weak. She would make them feel strong. Chief Engineer Rick Delgado worked non-stop. He upgraded the ship's weapons with captured alien tech. He made the old look new. He made the slow look fast when it mattered most. Dr. Ellen Cruz finished her next project, a virus that could shut down enemy targeting systems. It was risky, untested in real battle. But she believed in it. Then came the call. A human colony, under attack, no help in reach. Grant gave the order. Take us in. The Liberty jumped to the fight. The Varric fleet was waiting. Big ships, black hulls, heavy fire. Grant did not hesitate. He led the Liberty straight into the storm. Karen flew ahead, with her wing. She hit hard and vanished before the enemy could react. Rick rerouted power to weapons. The ship fired faster than it should have. Ellen launched the virus. Enemy guns locked up. Some even turned on their own ships. The Liberty moved through the chaos like a blade. Grant gave the final order. Finish this. Karen dove low and dropped explosives inside the enemy flagship. She pulled up just in time. The explosion lit space like fire. The Varric broke formation. And for the first time, they felt something they did not expect. Fear. Back on the Liberty, alarms rang. Damage reports came in. But no one stopped moving. Grant looked at the screen and said, "This war is just starting." And across human space, people began to believe, not just in the Liberty, but in themselves. Because if a slow warship could make the Varric bleed, then anything was possible. The Varric did not forget what the Liberty had done. They did not forgive either. They sent more ships, bigger ones, filled with soldiers who had never lost a battle, until now. But humans were no longer afraid. Word of the Liberty's victories spread across human space. People who once felt like outsiders began to stand tall. Factories ran day and night. Old freighters became warships. Miners, traders, even students joined the fight. Captain Marcus Grant stayed on the bridge, watching the enemy grow. He did not flinch. He had seen fear in men's eyes before. Now he saw fire. Lieutenant Karen Bell trained new pilots faster than ever. Some had never flown in real combat. Now they flew like legends. She taught them how to strike fast, vanish, and hit again before the enemy could react. Chief Engineer Rick Delgado worked below deck, turning the Liberty into something more than it was. He added alien tech to human design. The ship was still slow. But now, when it moved, it hit harder than anything in its class. Dr. Ellen Cruz finished her next upgrade, a stronger version of her targeting virus. This one did more than shut down weapons. It turned enemy ships against each other. The Varric came to end this. They brought everything they had, and the Liberty met them head-on. The battle started near Titan Station. The Liberty led a fleet of converted ships all crewed by humans who refused to back down. Grant gave the order. Show them why we do not run. Karen led the fighter wave. She flew through wreckage, dropped mines behind her, and fired shots that lit up the dark. Rick pushed the engines beyond safe limits. The Liberty took hits. Smoke filled parts of the ship. But it kept moving. Ellen launched the virus. Enemy ships blinked out of sync. Guns fired at their own allies. The Varric tried to pull back, but the Liberty did not let them. Grant aimed straight for the command vessel and fired everything they had. A massive explosion tore through the enemy line. One of the largest Varric ships fell, and across the stars a new truth spread fast. Humans were not just surviving, they were winning, and the Liberty, the slow warship everyone once laughed at, was leading the charge. The Varric had lost too much. Their leaders met in secret. They knew they could not win if the Liberty kept fighting. They sent one last offer to Earth. Stop now, and some human colonies would be spared. No one answered. Instead, Captain Marcus Grant gave one order: take us to the heart of their fleet. The Liberty led a final strike. It was joined by dozens of human ships, old freighters, new warships, even converted mining rigs. All of them carried crews who believed in what they were doing. Lieutenant Karen Bell flew at the front of the fighter wave. She had trained many pilots, but now she led them into battle herself. She moved through enemy lines like a ghost, hitting hard and vanishing before they could lock on. Chief Engineer Rick Delgado pushed the ship past its limits. Wires sparked. Alarms screamed. But the Liberty kept moving. He made sure of it. Dr. Ellen Cruz launched her final version of the targeting virus. This time it did more than shut down weapons. It turned entire fleets against each other. The final battle took place above the Varric homeworld. Grant aimed straight for the command station. The Liberty took heavy fire. Shields failed. Engines burned. But still, it flew. Karen hit the station from below. She dropped her last explosives and pulled up just in time. The station exploded behind her. Rick rerouted all power to weapons. The Liberty fired one last shot. It struck deep. The Varric flagship cracked, then broke apart. Silence fell over space. Then came the reports. Enemy ships surrendering, planets freed. War over. The Liberty limped home with smoke trailing behind it. It was broken, battered, and bruised, but it had won. And across human space, people cheered, not just for the ship, but for what it proved. That strength was not about speed or size or alien tech. It was about will, about courage, about never backing down. And as the stars watched, one truth became clear. Never laugh at the slow human warship, because when it strikes, it hits harder than anything.